Hi, this is Kathy, Backyard Gardener, and just kind of giving you a tour since everything's grown since the last time. That is a mullein. Not sure what the name of it, how to pronounce it, but I just transplanted it. That's my hibiscus. This is the candy cane hibiscus, and it makes like dinner plate size flowers. That's our lilac tree. Then I have this rogue, I'm not sure, I think it's a lemon cucumber. And then there's my okra finally starting to make an appearance. And that's some of the in-ground tomato plants. This is my black strawberry plant that I grew from seeds, from Baker Creek seeds. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, there we go. And then I planted a few okra back there. They're starting to come along. There's another rogue, I think it's cucumber, by my compost pile. So let's go over here. There's Roscoe. It's my marigolds, and I finally got my vinca in the ground. Some of it's doing okay and some of it's not. And that is a sunflower seed. Sunflower that came up from the bird seed. And I like sunflower, so I'm letting it go. Then we'll go over here to these beds, and they look a lot different than they used to because everything's grown so much. So we'll start down here. And here's my spoon tomato plant. Haven't gotten any tomatoes yet, but it's full of blooms. Here's my fennel. It's grown quite a bit. I put peppers in, and they're doing okay. Not too great. These are Paul Robson tomatoes that I grew from seed. But as you can tell, my cucumbers are kind of choking them out, and I'm trying to get the cucumbers to grow up. And some of them are. And they will, but they're still choking out the tomatoes. That's okay, I have a bunch of tomato plants. There's some peppers in there. That's a ground cherry. Not sure I like those. They taste kind of funny, but I'm trying it. And that's some eggplants. This is my cilantro. Yes, it's bolted, but I'm okay with that because the seeds will drop. Here's my cucumbers. I got a silver slicer today off of this plant, and it has some more. Let's see, there's a silver slicer cucumber. I think I said tomato, but I meant cucumber. And I picked the other ones already, but that's several different varieties growing. Then I have the acorn squash down here, and I have several of those on the plant. I went ahead and planted some melons in there because nothing's growing up the trellis. This is yellow squash, and I have zucchini down here. And then that is a spaghetti squash, and I think when I bought my zucchini seeds, I think spaghetti squash seeds were mixed in, because every time I plant zucchinis, I end up with some spaghetti squash, and I haven't planted it. But it's going pretty good. It's really growing up the trellis. There's my red sunflower. Look how tall it's getting. Finally has a bloom on it way up there. It's pretty tall. Got real pretty big leaves. This is my borage. And I do like the taste of these flowers. To me, they have a fresh, almost cucumbery kind of taste, but they're really good. That's my jalapeno. Not sure I'm gonna do that again because it just tastes like a regular pepper. It doesn't taste like a jalapeno. So that's the raspberry. It's grown and it's putting out little pups in the pot. So Ought to be doing good on raspberries. Lavender and more borage. These are all the different tomatoes. This is a Jet Star tomato plant. And you can see it's loaded. And I don't remember what this one is. I think, oh, it's a, let's see, tomato lemon boy. So that'll be some yellow tomatoes. This one is a celebrity. This one is just the seeds from a packet that just said tomato. That's it. But look at how it's producing. And then this one is the same thing. No, this one is my green zebra stripe tomato. See? That's a pretty tomato. And then this tomato is an Arkansas Traveler. And it's loaded, but they're little. I didn't really know what kind of tomatoes it produced, but it's loaded. And this one right here is a Cherokee Purple tomato plant. And it's got quite a few. It's got this one big one squeezed in right here. And then that's actually a jalapeno plant. So these are growing really good. I'm real proud of this bed. This is probably my favorite part of the garden until my kajaris really get going. Then they're usually my favorite part. All right, let's go over here. And these are my pineapple tomatoes that I grew from seed from Baker Creek. And I have a few on them. There's one right there. And I'm not sure that that is a pineapple tomato. That might be a Paul Robson that I grew from seed. And the asparagus is mixed in there. This is it's gonna be the permanent asparagus bed, but I do have some nasturtiums growing in it. And this year I grew some, it's called black nasturtium. There's the flower right there. And then I have the variegated. And that's the jewel. Real pretty flowers. And they taste really good. They kind of have a horseradishy taste to me. And these are my little kumquat trees. I finally put them outside. They turned a little bit yellow because I didn't harden them off like I should have. But I think they're going to be okay because they've grown. Then over here we have petunias and strawberries. They're a plain plant. And I still have some vinca and some flowers in there and my lemon tree. And a few other things. Oh, I have to show you my dragon fruit plant. It has really taken off. So I do have to do something with that. And it's actually come from this pot to this pot and it rooted right there. So I'm going to plant that. But I'm just not sure what I can do with it during the winter. Because I'm not sure. They get really big. But we're going to try it. There's some ginger, and I finally had a turmeric come up. There's my turmeric. And then my straw flowers are finally growing a little bit. Let's see, some more strawberries and petunias. My pineapple mint. Now this is an in-ground garden with yellow squash. And that's one of those tomatoes that just said tomato on the thing. And I think this is another spaghetti squash because I did plant zucchini, but I think I ended up with spaghetti squash. That's kind of crowded in there, so I'm not going to go all the way in there, but that is, I have one Brandywine tomato that I went ahead and left, although they're not doing good. And then that's my wild mint that came up in strawberries. And that's another one of the just regular tomatoes. And then I put peppers in the pots where the potatoes were, but again, they're not doing that great. But I had that happen last year, and in about August, I had a ton of peppers. So over here, that's Kajari melons. All of that's Kajari melons except, you know, of course there's asparagus in there. And then here I have eggplant and a ground cherry. I pulled up one ground cherry because I would rather have the Kajari melons. Let's see, over here, these are the horn jelly melons. And this one is a golden melon plant. And that's another jelly melon. The jelly melon came up from seeds from last year. And they're really taking off. Then right here I have tomato plants I bought from Lowe's. And that is a Better Boy and a Celebrity. And I think this was a green zebra, but it doesn't look like the tomato doesn't look like a green zebra. And then over here, I have all the tomatillas. And there's a ton of the little lanterns. They look like lanterns to me on the plants. And I've gotten a few. And I don't really know how to do tomatillas, but I'm hoping that they're going to go ahead and grow. But the one producing the most is actually the little bitty runt plant. I've been getting good ones off of it. And it's in a pot with an asparagus. But most of it, that's where I've been getting most of them. There's another tomato plant. And then over here, this is that Chef Choice tomato. And it's got really big tomatoes on it. That's my German tomato, and it's not even, I think it's got a couple of blooms on it. This is a yellow tomato plant, and I got one off of it, but it had some rot on it. But it's got a lot of tomatoes on it, and it's a big, healthy plant. There's jalapenos. Oh, I forgot to show you my poblanos. And we've already eaten about 5 off of the plant. But there's a lot of poblanos on this plant. And I got this plant, these plants from Callaway's Nursery in Dallas. We drove up there. But I got quite a few poblanos, a bunch. And we love poblano peppers, so definitely gonna save seeds and try to grow them again next year. There's another golden melon plant and a sunrise tomato over there. And then just another one of the regular tomato plants. And that's a wisteria that's all bushy and really growing up. And then over here, I have another eggplant and some basil and another ground cherry. And I also have some cucamelons, or cucamelons, Mexican sour gherkins growing. Got 2 of those plants. And then there's another Kajari. And this is a tiger melon plant. And then I have some more Kajari. You can tell I like Kajari melons. My preacher likes Kajari melons too. But I also planted some loofahs. I had over probably 100 loofahs off my plants last year. And so I decided, well, I might as well go ahead and plant another one. So I've got 2. And I only had 3 plants last year. And I'm not sure what this tomato plant is. I just stuck it there. And of course there's an asparagus. But this is my garden. There's the tomatillo, the ground cherry I pulled out. But this is my garden this year. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.